Everybody, let's get started. These startups really want to pitch to you. They're super eager, and we have an amazing VC panel here for you today. So if you could take your seats, that would be great. And there'll be plenty of time afterwards to meet the startups in person. Okay. All right, everybody. I want to welcome you to Orbit One Demo Day in Dubai. My name is Ching Ping Lin. I'm the COO and partner of Orbit Startups. And we have 10 amazing startups here today who are going to be pitching to you. I want to give everybody a warm welcome here in Dubai, as well as on live streaming. Hello to everybody, and so excited that you could join us here today. So today we're going to start with a welcome remarks from our managing director and general partner SOSV, William Baubin, followed by our distinguished VC panel, and then followed by our 10 incredible startups. And then afterwards, there's going to be networking here in the room in Dubai at Astra Labs, and then also online. Our team is there ready to talk to you all if you have any questions about our startups. So without further ado, I'd like to call onto the stage William Baubin, who's going to talk a little bit about Orbit Startups and what we do in scaling breakthrough startups from around the world across emerging and frontier markets.
Thanks so much. It's really great to be here in person with the 300 people online. But it's great to be here in person in Dubai. So my name is William Baubin. I'm a general partner at our fund SOSV, and our program is Orbit Startups. A few things that are unique about us. The first is that we are truly global. We invest around the world. We have offices around the world. So SOSV is our fund, 1.4 billion AUM. And then we invest in 3 categories all in one fund. So HAX is for hardware, Orbit, you're here today, internet and software, and then Indie Bio is for biotech. So our offices are truly global. So we have an Asia focus with a heavy concentration there. But our headquarters is actually in Newark, New Jersey. We're a US fund. And then we're increasingly expanding across the world. So we are the most active early stage VC in the world, according to PitchBook. We're number 9 in the US, number 10 in Europe. But the most important thing is Asia, rest of world. We're the number 5 most active VC. Sorry, man, could you move? Thanks. One of the most the coolest things is that even COVID really stopped us. So in 2019, we wrote our first check into Pakistan, and unfortunately, COVID did happen, so we couldn't go back. But we kept on investing. So there's some people say we're number 1 or number 2. I think the last time we're the number 2 most active VC in Pakistan and the most active international VC. I think that's important. Southeast Asia, number 6. India fluctuates. Last year we were number 7, and Singapore number 6, mostly because we help companies go cross-border, not just selling cross-border and acquiring users cross-border, but also sometimes re-domiciling cross-border, and we help them, re-domicile to either the US or Singapore or potentially UAE. Within sectors, it's quite broad. So we're the number 2 most active investor in health, number 1 in hardware, number 1 in robotics, number 1 most active investor in an area that's very important right now, which is climate. According to PitchBook, since 2018, the most active there. And within that, it's very important that we're investing in the future of food security. And we're coming at it from hardware, from biotech, and from internet and software. So we are early stage. We invest 180,000 US, usually at a $5 to $20 million valuation. And then we take common stock for our program to get us to our ownership target, usually around 5 or 6%. So the reason why the companies work with us on these terms is that we provide help. We provide help with mentorship, growth, and fundraising. So standard program type things. The most important is probably our mentors. So we have over 500 mentors who have failed at many things, succeeded at least one, and have advice to bring and a contribution to share. The things that really set us apart, though, and the reason why startups want to work with us, the best of the best from around the world, is enterprise sales. Two areas. On the enterprise, it's sales. So our corporate team of 10 is engaged lightly with 230 multinationals day in and day out. We're doing pilots and POCs, paid pilots, on and off with 42 of them. So Unilever, J&J, AB InBev, Nestle, and others. And 2 of those 5 invested in our fund. In fact, 27 corporates invested, multinationals invested in our fund. So instead of, as startups, trying to sell into a large corporate, it's very difficult. We're actually pulling in. We figure out what those corporates need, and then we pull the startup in. So when we signed Pfizer, normally they said a deal would take from first conversation to close a year. For us, it took 3 months. The second thing is that we're the only VC in the world, as far as I know, that gives free advertising, free user acquisition to our portfolio companies. So customer acquisition cost of 0. So instead of spending $1 on Google or Facebook ads, taking all that dilution from VCs, giving up, lots of equity, and then spending that money on Google and Facebook ads, spending $1 to get a user, and then hopefully, if you're lucky, make 50 cents. For our companies, they get the dollar for nothing. They make the 50 cents, and then they share back 17 cents, 30% to whoever gave them that user. So what does that look like? Well, it allows us to scale up without spending a lot of money. So far, we've invested $51 million as Orbit, and we're traction first, then fundraising. So we invest, we help the companies to traction, and then we help the companies do fundraise. So we've invested 51 million, and we've helped our companies close 716 million in follow-on funding. And these numbers are starting to get bigger as our portfolio gets more mature. In terms of the free advertising, 2020, our portfolio companies, we helped them hit 50 million MAU with a CAC of basically 0. At the end of last year, we hit 102 million MAU. And as of 3 months ago, we're at 153 million MAU. Our near-term goal is to hit 1 billion MAU. And now we're experimenting where our companies are cross-promoting each other for revenue share. This removes the need for paid marketing. And we're looking to disaggregate big internet. So that's our unfair advantage, our ability to bridge between the best technology startups in the world and some of our corporate partners here. So the portfolio is really about the best of the best from around the world. So we partner with local ecosystems like, Astrolabs. Thank you so much. We partner with local ecosystems, and they refer companies that where we can help them grow up in the local market, but then expand cross-border. So we don't really compete with anybody because we're helping companies grow cross-border. Some of our companies, like in games, like Goama, when we invested, they were in 2 markets. Now they're in 17 markets, from Asia to South Asia, but even Latin America. So I'll give you a introduction to some of our previous investments. So PriceSoy is the #2 e-commerce company in Pakistan. And they're the #1 seller of smartphones online. The problem that they solve is when you buy a smartphone online in Pakistan, you're very likely to get a delivery with a nice shiny box with a rock in it. Okay, and they solve this problem. You will actually get a smartphone and it'll work. And they actually paid the duty on it, so it doesn't turn into a brick 2 months later when the telco sends a message to it saying you didn't pay your import tax. So PriceSoy has 2 million monthly active users. They're doing 2 million monthly GMV, and they're growing quite rapidly. And we're very happy to that 2 months ago, they announced the close of an $8 million seed round led by Jam Fund, which is the co-founder of Tinder, and Peter Thiel, the co-founder of PayPal, and also the first investor into Facebook. He did his first investment in Pakistan into PriceSoy. So we help our companies go global, but we also help our companies raise globally. So the next one is Octopus. Climate is very important to us, but emerging markets, climate doesn't always show up in the same way. So the biggest problem that we have in emerging markets with recycling is you have all these garbage pickers kind of running around with carts, and they're pulling garbage out of bins and basically off the street, and they're putting it and they sell it. When they sell it, 50% of that garbage, that recycling, gets rejected because it's dirty, and it just ends up in a dump or the river. And that's what 48% for Indonesia. So what we do is we digitize the garbage pickers, we turn them into Ubers for garbage collection. And we signed up 150,000 families in Indonesia who collect the garbage, pre-sort it, and then call the garbage picker to their house like an Uber. Okay. So the rejection rate goes from 48% to 4%, and the garbage picker is making twice the money. So we invested a little over about a year ago. They're doing about 30K a month. And they just, they grew 11, well, a lot more than 11. So in 1 year, they grew from 30K a month to 2.1 million US in monthly sales. And they did it on $190,000 in cash investment, and they're profitable. A month ago, they just closed 5 million, co-led by SOSV, our fund, as well as Open Space. Massive scale. And the cool thing is a lot of their revenue is coming from companies like P&G and Danone, who pay to get the pictures with a geotag of each of their products being recycled, because they made all these pledges, but there's no way for them to prove that their packaging actually got recycled, except through our geotag pictures. Bounty Media solves a really big problem, because you've got a lot of people who are low income, middle income, and they want to watch movies and TV. They want to get paid service. They want to, read the newspaper, but they don't have the money to pay. So like the Netflixes of the world, they're kind of expensive. So what we've done is in the paywall, Bounty Media adds another option. Okay. That option is they can watch for free. They can get the subscription for free because a brand will pay for it for them. In return, they opt in for a one-to-one relationship with that brand. Okay. So no more advertising. We cut out Google. We cut out Facebook. The brand, for the first time, has a one-to-one zero-party data relationship with that consumer. And as long as they don't piss off the consumer opts out, they don't have to pay for ads anymore. So they can afford to be very nice to that consumer. So we've signed 3 of the top 7 consumer brand advertisers in the world already, Thailand and Indonesia to start. And the first contract is 2 million consumers signed up. Dastagir, last but not least, is a company in Pakistan. They are digitizing mom and pop shops. Okay, so mom and pop shops, they've been around for thousands of years. There's little corner stores that sell stuff. The problem is that they don't really make very much money because there's so many middlemen between them and their suppliers. So what Dastagir does is we digitize them. They can order. They get basically wholesale prices, right? They get financing, and we allow them to make 30 to 40% more take home every month. Now, the cool thing is that we're not just helping them sell physical goods, but we're also helping them sell digital. It starts with cell phone top up. Okay. Then it goes to digital pay, bill pay. And then they will start promoting all of the other Orbit services for revenue share. So in Pakistan alone, we have 1.45 million shops already digitized. Dastagir has 110,000 shops already digitized. They hit 9 million in monthly GMV. When we invested, I think it was about 12 million GV. When we invested about a year and a half ago, it was 600K. And they just closed a $39 million Series A, led by the owner of one of the largest telcos in Pakistan, Jazz. It's the largest Series A in the history of the country. Why? Because they have positive unit economics. So with that, I'm going to hand it back to Qingping. We'll do a little panel.
Thank you so much, William. So thanks for introducing Orbit startups and all the work that we're doing in emerging markets. So with that, I want to now go to our VC panel part of today's program. If the team could come up now. And so today we have 3 distinguished guests for you who are going to talk about what's going on in their investments and what's going on in the region that you should be aware of. So I'd like to invite our panelists to come on up here, please. All right. And today's moderator will be our very own William Babine.
Yeah, we're going to be, we got mics. Okay, awesome. So thank you so much for coming. Sorry you had to move from sitting over there to sitting over here. But no, please, we'll let you guys introduce yourselves. So kicking off is, yeah.
Hi, can you guys hear me? Hello? Hello? Yeah. I'm Isa Ghabi. I'm founder and managing partner of Access Bridge. We're an early stage fund that launched around a year and a half ago out of the UAE, focusing on the Middle East, North Africa, Pakistan, and opportunistically abroad, but that's our core region. Certain themes we invest in, given the expertise of the partners across the table, include health tech, edutech, e-commerce and e-commerce enabling platforms, fintech, not all fintech, but certain subsect of fintech, and anything that helps digitize retail and cut costs down for SMEs. So that's a wide bucket that includes SaaS, enterprise, tech, and the marketplaces. So that launched in January. We're a small fund. We'd like to be that first or second institutional investor. So just around the same time, you guys, maybe companies graduate from your programs. We've done 14 deals to date across the region. So just very quickly, 4 in Egypt, 2 in Saudi, 2 in the UAE, 2 in Pakistan, 1 in Jordan, and 3 in the UK that focus globally on Africa and the Middle East. So yeah, that's who I am and what we do.
Rabia Khouri, I'm a managing partner, general partner with MEVP. We're one of the leading VC firms in MENA. Focus markets are obviously UAE, Saudi Arabia, and Egypt. We also have invested in Pakistan, in a company called Baikia. We know Turkey quite well. 70% of Arabs are Africans. So, North Africa is very important for us. Egypt is a go-to market, and we've done our first investment in Sub-Saharan Africa. And I've known Bill for a while when he was not as svelte as today. SOSV is an amazing platform, obviously very global, and focus on emerging markets, what we do, and we hope to collaborate going forward. And thank you for inviting.
Hi, Ghassan Ash, founder and general partner at Imkan Capital. We're one of the few funds in the region actually that has LPs from Silicon Valley. We find it incredibly important to try to bridge the gap between the region and international tier 1 investors. Relatively new fund, just under a year. We focus on seed to Series A, and our general ticket size is about $1 million. Focusing on the GCC, but also opportunistically in Pakistan and other really interesting geographies. We just co-invested our first deal with SOSV in Pakistan, so we're super excited about that.
Awesome. So just following up on that, I mean, we've got an audience from around the world, so you're very familiar with the market. But for the audience that's coming in from Asia, from China, from Singapore, maybe you say you can kick off. Like, why should they focus on this region? Why should they start writing checks here?
Well, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Is this better? Okay.
Yeah.
So, it's quite a large region. Individually, it doesn't make sense. But when you look at the MENA as a whole, it's quite a sizable population. And if you add Pakistan to it, it's even more, it makes more sense. Young population, strong middle class population, hungry population. You were talking about Pakistan as an example. The middle class there is unmatched compared to others and their neighbors. Pakistan, we're like, what, 5-6 years? See, untapped, 5 startups. Take a look at it now, the ecosystem is flourishing, a lot more investors, global appetite for the region. So it's getting there. Same for this part of the world. If you take a look at what the governments are doing across the GCC and the region. And what excites me most in this part of the world, we see either it be local adaptations for local part, but very relevant to Africa, Asia, to Asia in general. So that's why we invest here, and that's what this market. I find it very challenging to do it themselves. So partnering with local people on the ground, either be startups or investors, is the way to do it. So that's
Robbie, you probably answered this question many times. Yeah, because you started probably earliest, right?
Yeah, I disagree with my colleague here a bit about the size of the markets. It depends on what you're trying to sell. If you're trying to sell, for example, a $5 per month music subscription, I think the addressable market in the GC is larger than India. Our pools here are much higher, both B2C and B2B. However, I agree with you. We also try to build regional champions, and regional champions have to be sort of leaders in the UAE, in Egypt, in Saudi Arabia. There's also the rest of GCC. One other very important thing for important point for international investors looking at the emerging markets. We're a very unique emerging market, very rich, very modern, and at least in the GCC, you don't have foreign currency exposure. I'm sure you're facing a lot of FX exposure in Pakistan. In UAE it doesn't exist, in Saudi Arabia it doesn't exist, in Kuwait doesn't exist, in Bahrain, and that's typically in emerging markets half your risk. So it's very de-risked. Also, just agreeing with what you said, we invest in using technology to remove pain points. And one of the pain points is that the Arab world, if you want, digitized a bit late. The reason we digitized late is because our legacy services were actually quite good. I mean, my grandfather used to have a phone in Beirut, so we didn't need to leapfrog like Africa. We had good services. However, now we're a bit late, and we focus on investing in companies that create access of pain points and are digitizing our economy. We're a late-stage fund. So we tend to focus on, Series B and Series C. We've taken the first company in the region, merged it with a SPAC in the US, did the first exit of a woman in the region, made her a millionaire in 2014. So we had a lot of firsts, but a great market to invest in, fairly modern. I agree, you have to invest with people who know what they're doing. Hopefully we know a bit in VC. Obviously we know 20% of the story, but we know it very well. We're happy that things have improved. I think 2021 was a watershed year, especially in terms of IPOs, in terms of we've had the first IPO in Saudi Arabia, and now the floodgates have opened. It's very important. We've also had some focus from the big funds, for example, the Vision Fund, because of $60 billion of the $100 billion the Vision Fund came from the Middle East, 40 billion from Saudi Arabia, 14 billion from Abu Dhabi. Catering to also sovereign wealth funds. We were the first VC fund to receive an allocation from some of the sovereign wealth funds here. We're still just scratching the surface. So there's a lot to do, a lot of scope, and these economies have to digitize. There is money, we're modern, and we have to move forward.
Thanks, Rabia. Just to follow up on the scratching the surface, 5 years ago in 2017, ounce deployed capital in VC was about $40 million. In the first half of 2022 alone, we're just shy of 600 million. So the growth is explosive, it's exponential. Technology adoption and penetration in MENA is highest worldwide. You have it's about 1% in India. So we're looking at least 5x, 10x growth in terms of VC deployment. Are a lot of things to brings, and I think that penetration, any company that is able to provide a solution to these offline offerings are going to be able to leapfrog and scale. We've seen that happen with things as simple as food delivery, with Jahez being a $2 billion IPO. So I'm super excited, very, very much.
So for VCs looking to write their first checks here, what do you think differentiates doing VC or investing VC here versus, say, the US or maybe for Asia or Europe? What are some of the things to keep in mind? So you want to kick off? Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So I think things are changing rapidly every year. So it's hard to make assertions in terms of trends. But I think you can see that there's a lot of focus on seed and Series A. So there's a little bit of a capital crunch in Series B and above. And I think that VC participation from international tier ones is still very, very low. So last year, only 5%, I would say, came from tier one international. So there's a lot of room to bring in that capital. I think if you look at historically, companies like Kareem and Souk, who were phenomenal successes, had a lot of traction. If they were in any other geography, they would have gotten some significant investment from tier ones. And I think that's starting to change.
Again, the question is a bit complex because the Arab world is not one country. As I said, 70% of Arabs are Africans. You have in the Middle East, you have one of the poorest countries per capita and one of the largest, Egypt, and literally the richest country per capita in the world, Qatar. So we have to cater to a lot of different needs. Also, if you look at investing in companies in Saudi Arabia, they tend to be focused on the large Saudi market. The teams tend to be a bit more Saudi. If you're investing in the UAE, depending if you're in Dubai or Abu Dhabi, it tends to be more regional. And the teams typically are not national. So it's sort of the United Nations of entrepreneurs and, of team members, of engineers. Egypt is also, it's a bit on its own. It exports a lot of engineers. It has a big market, but our pools are small. So we've seen these corridors of investment. So for example, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Nigeria, Pakistan, Saudi Arabia. And these are teams of entrepreneurs who are either Saudi or Pakistani, who did well in Kareem, in Su, etc., and then went to develop their second and third startup. So it's very difficult. It's a mosaic. Invest with us. We're first tier, tier one. I think there are tier ones here. We don't have to look at Sequoias, etc. And absolutely, because your point about the 0.2% is actually something we put in our presentation. It's sad, and also, as you said, the early stage is getting a lot of attention, and also there's a lot of attention on Saudi. Saudi is sort of a bit its own ecosystem. Saudi money funding Saudi companies dealing with Saudi technology pain points. So again, every market is different. I mean, we at MVP have 6 offices. If we were in the US, we'd have one office on, Sand Road, and that's it, right? So you have to be in Egypt, you have to be in Abu Dhabi, you have to be in Dubai, you have to be in the Levant, either Jordan or Beirut, you have to be in Saudi Arabia. We have an office also in Bahrain. So it's not easy. Languages, if you're looking at North Africa, you better speak French, native French speakers, so we can handle North Africa also. It's diverse. The view in the West and a bit in Asia that, Arabs are homogeneous. I mean, not at all. And that's why the local factor is very important. And again, I mean, there are, these are platitudes, obviously. It's all about the team, right? It's important to know the people you're working with.
So I'm not going to really add much to what the gentleman said, but I'm going to take another stab at it in a different way. So I would say, first of all, get comfortable with the region. Come here, spend time here, visit, see the countries you're investing in, meet the entrepreneurs. You may think this goes without saying, but that doesn't really happen all the time. Just don't write a blank check. 2, ideally, when you first write your first check here, focus on a sector you understand or have done well with in the past, something you've invested in the past. Less opportunistic, more focused, because A, you can drive value and get more comfortable with the deals that you're doing and the fundamentals of that. And 3rd, invest with people who are on the ground, who know what they're doing and can help shed light, share insights, be your eyes and ears on the ground. And just a testament to that. So before launching Access Bridge, I've done VC across many different entities. This is my first fund as, a founding partner and managing it. My last gig was with IFC, and this is what we did. So we deployed probably like $250 million when I was there in the region across funds and direct investments / later stage companies. And we did it through partnering with VC funds and coming in later stage, similar to what MVP does now. And that recipe worked for us. We had 3-4 exits during that 4 years. So there is money to be made, but just, I would say, do it in an educated fashion until you get comfortable in the region. Yeah, that's
awesome. No, thanks so much. So this is like sort of each one of you gets to do a little bit what I just did before. Pitch your last investment or pitch recent investment that you think you're super excited about. Why did you invest? what's the problem they're solving, why did you really fall in love with the team, and what do you think the opportunity is? So you got the mic?
Oh
Yeah.
man, it's like saying,
No, I
choose
mean,
your
they're going to
favorite
pitch
baby,
later.
huh?
You got to show
Ah.
entrepreneurs what it's like. You know?
Let me choose. So maybe one of the latest ones we did. We invested in Egypt called Mazadat, and it's in the e-commerce space, focusing on, let's say, for the lack of a better comparable, a regionally relevant version of eBay, with marrying online and offline, online and offline, to adapt to the market needs. In less than a couple of months of operation, they have blown their 2-year targets in 3-4 months of operations. The model works very highly locally adaptive to the market. The entrepreneur is spectacular. A seasoned individual is like 40 plus, who's done it before. He's sunk in his own money to the platform. So that's one that's very exciting and growing at that hockey stick curve that we've seen. But there's many more. But I'm not gonna have the
No,
conversation.
thanks for sharing. Thanks for sharing, Robbie.
Just quickly, and I'm going to go to the end of the alphabet. A company called Share. It's written XARE. This is a interesting company. This is a husband and wife, Indian nationals, who actually had a independently quite successful in Dubai, and they built a company about a fintech company that helps you share credit cards. So a very interesting technology. We have a lot of expats in the Arab world who send money back home. That's not very efficient. It's tax dodgy also, and and there's a lot of issues around funding bad things. And through Share, you can actually create a digital credit card for your wife, for your kid, for your husband, your brother, and have them spend things very specifically. We've already created credit cards in 173 countries. Sorry. So the business is global also, and multi-currency. So very interesting company.
Thank you.
I'm not going to choose kind of what my favorite is. I'll just choose the most recent one. I think that's fair to everyone in the portfolio, whoever's watching. We invested in a commerce platform, the first region. It's called, and just given the penetration of social media in the GCC and the consumption, we're super excited about it. It's a business model that has worked phenomenally well in Asia and Southeast Asia. Hasn't really taken off in the US, but given kind of the amount of influencer driven shopping in the region.
Awesome. So thank you all for sharing. Thank you for being here. Thank you for explaining, especially to our international audience online, the best to look for. And hopefully we'll have some companies right now presenting that will catch both your, but also their excitement and maybe get that first check into the region. So thank you very much for joining us. Please have a seat in the front. And with that, kick it back to Chingping.
Thank you so much, William, and our VC panel. Okay, so next up, it is absolutely time to meet our startups. This is the best part here. So now our 10 latest startups are going to pitch to you and tell you about how they are changing the world and emerging in frontier markets. And our startups today, we've grouped them together by region, and our first region is in Pakistan. And our first company is Linkstar. And I'd like everyone to please give a very warm welcome to Aizaz, CEO of Linkstar.
Thank you, Chingping. So I've been tasked with getting this show on the road, and I'm going to try and hold your attention for the next 6 minutes. So this is Zara. Zara lives in Karachi, Pakistan. She has an e-commerce brand called Gym Armor. Her products are of good quality, and she sold out her first inventory within a month. Now, Zara knows the potential and wants to invest in her brand. But where does she start? There's content, design, strategy, performance marketing, social media marketing, influencer marketing, e-commerce, SEO. Yeah, it sounds like a lot. And it is. Now, Zara can't do this all herself. She needs help. Hiring multiple people in-house is expensive. So for cost efficiency, she decides to hire an agency. Trouble is, she can't seem to find one agency that can handle all these different needs at the right price. Bigger agencies can handle the job, but are too expensive, charging her heavy retainers plus percentages of ad spend. And smaller agencies lack the professionalism and the expertise to get the job done. All agencies are 50% markup on the influencers that Zara needs for her gymwear brand. And to make matters even worse, finding and signing an agency itself is a tedious process that can take up to 30 days with no guarantee of success. So Zara tries a freelance marketplace, but she doesn't have the time to sift through thousands of options, wait for replies, and go through proposals. And the platforms means that she can't do calls on Zoom or messages on WhatsApp, which is very popular in Pakistan with over 40 million users. But Zara has results, and she needs them fast. She's ordered a lot more inventory, and she needs to sell it out. So where does she go? Well, she goes to Linkstar. We are a one-stop solution for all Zara's marketing needs. We have a vetted network of freelance professional marketers and influencers with experience at some of the top brands, startups, and agencies, available on demand and on a budget. Our talent goes through a 3-step vetting process and pays us a $5 monthly subscription to be a part of our exclusive platform, where they also get access to their own custom landing page, which they can use on their own socials. Our vetting process is driven by data, ensures that we can match the right talent with the right business while saving them time, effort, and cost. Let me show you how it works. Zara goes on Linkstar's platform, fills out the requirements form, and pays a refundable deposit. At the back end, our team finds the best matches for Zara via our matching algorithm within 48 hours, utilizing more than 10 data points, including relevant industry experience, skill set, pricing, and more. Our talent can also use their landing page on their own social media to drive their own traffic. So Zara can hire a performance marketer with experience at a top agency, a level of talent that she would otherwise have been priced out of and would not have been able to find on her own. Once Zara satisfied the matches, she can add them to her team. She can manage her projects herself via her dashboard, or if she requires additional support, Linkstar support is on hand to add or replace talent on short notice. And she can even opt for a managed solution with an account manager for an additional fee. And she can also select influencers, which we select and give her options for via our platform without having to pay additional fees like with agencies. She's also free to communicate and chat via Linkstar's chat or any other communication channel as well. Once the projects are complete, she can generate invoices and pay out via Linkstar's platform, where we take a cut. Well, now we are in Pakistan currently. This is the 4th fastest growing freelance market in the world. And with the current economic climate and an increase in work from home, we are seeing an increase in both the supply and the demand of remote talent, with more and more SMEs looking to optimize costs, as well as more and more professionals looking to freelance. And that is why we are eyeing a regional opportunity of $30 billion across MENA, Pakistan, South Asia, connecting more than 200 million freelancers and 100 million SMEs. So why is Linkstar better? Well, on average, we are 25% more cost-effective than agencies because we don't need to hire full-time talent on our own payroll. And we can save an SME over 100 productive hours versus hiring an agency. Our data-driven vetting and matching process ensures that we can provide consistent quality with the right talent, with proven experts across all marketing fields, unlike with most low to mid-tier agencies that specialize only in a few. And unlike the freelance marketplaces, we also have influencers as part of our holistic offering. As for our team, I'm Azaz Nayyar. I'm the CEO of Linkstar. I'm a certified digital marketer, more than 5 years of experience in management, marketing, and sales. Previously, I launched a regional department at Daraz, the #1 e-commerce platform in Pakistan, owned by Alibaba. Daraz Advertising Solutions is the department that I launched, and we scaled this to 5 countries in Asia, millions of dollars in revenue, and over 100 brands. I've also successfully freelanced during my university days. Ali, our Chief Operating Officer, is right there. He has an agency background. He's previously worked at IO Digital, one of the top agencies in Pakistan, where he managed accounts for billion-dollar companies such as Emaar and Engro, with a core expertise in influencer marketing. He has also built tech products for 2 funded startups. And Adil, our Chief Business Officer, has over 5 years experience managing major international FMCG brands with annual turnover of more than $6 million. He also has a degree in finance from the UK and has previously worked at Europe's 4th largest bank, Santander. We're all childhood friends, and previously we launched a freelance marketplace, which we scaled to 6-digit dollar revenues in 2021. As for the rest of our team, we have individuals from leading companies such as Oracle, Daraz, Snunu, as well as an in-house influencer with more than 15,000 followers. Our investors include the lovely Orbit Startups, as well as top Pakistani VC Sarmayakar and K3 Diversity Ventures, which is a Canadian-American VC whose notable investments include SpaceX. And I'm happy to share that just an hour ago, we have signed on 2 angel investors with experience in marketing, agency, and PR of more than 50 years. As for our traction, the fun part. In the last few months, we've onboarded more than 100 SMEs and brands, including unicorns such as Swivel, multi-million-dollar funded startups like Ryder, as well as smaller e-commerce players such as Gym Armor. We have signed up over 8,000 freelancers, influencers, and service providers, each of whom also has their own custom landing page, and they are growing at 3x month on month. And as for our revenue, I'm happy to share that in just the first week of September, we have already crossed the amount we made in August. We are growing at 100% month on month.
Thank you so much, Linkstar. Okay, so now is the time where online Zoom, you see a poll there. If you are interested in talking to Linkstar, please indicate your relative interest by clicking on yes in the poll. And there would be a poll for each company. Those of you here with us in the room today, you can see our lovely team there holding up QR codes on your left, and there's a QR code on your right. So please scan that, and then you can also fill out a form to meet with those startups. And each will be having a little bit of space after each pitch so you can indicate your relative interest. So thank you. I'll give you a couple seconds to scan here. Okay, great. So now we're going to move on to our next startup. I'd like to introduce Amar from Nearpeer. Please give him a great round of applause.
Hello, everyone. I would like to start by introducing you to Amreen. Amreen is 17 years old, a Gen Z, lives in Pakistan, and she belongs to a middle-class family. Her parents value good education and work very hard to provide for her good future. Amreen recently got done with her high school, and next she wants to become a doctor. Now, in order to become a doctor, she needs to appear in a very competitive exam called MD-CAT. Every year, 500,000 students appear in this exam, but only 3% are accepted into the universities. Now, of course, Amreen has only 60 days to prepare. It's definitely going to be a lot of pressure, and Amreen is going to need a lot of help. Now, just like all other friends, she goes to join a physical academy, which comes with a lot of problems. Problems like, number one, academies are very far away. Each day, long time wasted in the commute, and means that less energy and less time left for the actual thing, which is preparation itself. Academies are also extremely expensive, which means that parents had to exhaust a lot of savings to make sure that she gets her classes. On the top of that, the teaching staff in those academies, they are not up to the par. And the cherry on the top, Ambreen is just one of other 150 peers in the same classroom. Now, she cannot ask the questions, she cannot get the feedback, which leaves her frustrated. At the end, she ends up failing the MDCAT exam. She's forced to. Amreen is like millions of other students in Pakistan who go through the stresses of academic life each year without any guidance or support. 90% of the students fail or give up before even completing their high school in Pakistan. We started Nearpeer to help students like Amreen learn effectively and achieve their goals efficiently with fun and with affordable means. All what Amreen would need now is a cell phone and internet connection, and she can stay in comfort. World-class education. A friend or mentor or teacher near peer is all that she's going to need in such pressure time. And the parents are going to be happy. Why? Because we are going to reduce their cost of education by 5x while promising that we are going to help her daughter achieve her dreams. Now, let me show you how this will happen. Amreen first will download the Nearpeer app from the Play Store. She is going to go through the app and select her course. She's going to put in her exam date, the target score, and goes to a diagnostic quiz. This diagnostic quiz is going to understand Amreen's predicted score on her current level of preparation and going to tell her strengths and weaknesses across different subjects in MDCAT. Based on this analysis, the system is going to tell her, of course, what to do next, what to learn, when to learn, how to learn, how much to learn, and how fast to learn. Amreen now knows what next to do. She goes on to amazing video lectures by our instructors who not only educate, but make her interact with amazing features like animations, pop-up questions. And the more questions she solves and more videos she watches, the better her progress reports get updated. And she knows now what are my strengths, now what are my weaknesses, and what are the next steps that I need to do. Amreen, of course, after watching the lectures, she has any question, she can drop the question in the app whenever she wants, even in the middle of night, and she's going to get the reply from instructors within next 15 minutes. She wants to interact with instructors one-on-one, live sessions come in handy as well. And in online education, she does not even need to feel alone. Just like students actually interact on Snapchat or Instagram, on Nearpeer, students do the same with their class fellows. In short, ladies and gentlemen, Nearpeer is a complete ecosystem that not only replaces the physical academies, but also gives a superior learning experience to Amreen. And the best part about all of this ecosystem is even accessible without internet. I'm happy to share that Amreen is a real story. This is a story of my own sister. I saw her going through the academic stress for 2 straight years while she was preparing for her medical exam. But today I'm happy to share that she is in her dream medical college on her way to become a doctor. But not everyone gets lucky. There are 50 million Pakistan who go through different kinds of competitive exams, either to become a doctor or engineer or business manager or a civil servant. Education right now in Pakistan is $12 billion market, and it is growing really fast. By 2030, it is projected to reach $30 billion in market size. We are best at what we do. We leverage the technology to come up with a customized learning plan for each and every student. The best quality content, both in terms of engagement as well as quality. Our students are 7x more likely to achieve their desired scores as compared to the students who go to the conventional education system. And we have the best team that pulls that off. Our whole co-founding team has worked at various corporates and a lot of educational bodies. I have previously served at Asia's second largest university with 1.1 million enrollments, digitize their distance learning program. I've also worked with World Bank as well as Higher Education Commission, come up with result-based monitoring and evaluation program to monitor and evaluate 1.8 million teachers in Pakistan. I was also one of the highly celebrated SAT instructor in Pakistan, where I started my class with 3 students that scaled to 1,000 students within 1 year before I started Near Peer. My co-founder Shahrukh comes from a very remote village and is the first one from his town as well as family to get a college degree. So he really understands how to make the tech-driven education system reach to the middle and low-income communities, especially in the remote areas, enabling us to build the scalable platform that can actually reach the masses. Shahrukh's ability to monetize edtech has been widely acknowledged, so much so that even the edtech companies from the Silicon Valley approach him to ask guidance on how to monetize. Shahrukh and I started our first company when we were in college. We helped Google scale its Google Maps in Pakistan. We exited that business within 2 years after giving 20x returns to ourselves and our investors even before graduation. Umair, our co-founder, has worked at various companies within Pakistan and world where he built a lot of different verticals such as quick commerce, e-commerce, fintech, health tech, etc. Today, the products he has built are being used by over 300 million users, generating a revenue over $5 billion. So this whole product, So this amazing team, the amazing product, this whole of that has combined to make us the most trusted and the largest edtech company in Pakistan. I'm happy to share. So our students actually love us, as indicated the NPS of 70. An NPS of 70 is higher than few of NPS of the largest edtechs in the world out there. And our students, why wouldn't they love us? Because on top of good product and good technology and good teachers, of course, our popular and strong prediction accuracy module, it actually helps students understand with 95% accuracy, where do they stand today? Therefore, they have to rely on Near Peer to understand how much more work do they need to put to achieve their goals. And it is because of this technology and data-driven approach that Near Peer is the only company in Pakistan that is officially endorsed by the federal government. We have also signed various partnerships with school groups, giving us access to 35,000 plus schools and their 10 million plus students, which means we have a gateway to approach all these students, disseminate our platform at a very minimal cost. Happy to share, thanks to these partnerships, thanks to SV's help and everything, our user base is doubling quarter over quarter since past 5 quarters. Our revenue has been increasing 15% month on month, and we aim to close 2022 with over $1 million in revenues. Our LTV to CAC ratio is 9x, and we are gross margin, and we have very high gross margins. This means that for every dollar that we put into marketing, as much as $9 come back, and that too on the very first transaction. Near Peer right now is the Indian version, Pakistani version of Indian Byju's and Indonesian version of Ruang Guru, both of which are world-leading edtech platforms valued at $20 billion plus. Edtech world, this opportunity needs to be grabbed. And we are very excited to work on developing this that actually levels the affordability as well as quality of education.
Thank you so much, Amar from Near Peer. All right, so please indicate your relative interest in the poll. I hope that all of you have been able to scan the code in the room. If not, our assistant here is going to hold that up, and also it's over there on the table. For those of you in Zoom, you should have a Zoom poll to indicate your interest to speak to Near Peer. All right, so coming to us next from Pakistan, from Lahore, is Shersha from CalPay. He's going to be speaking to us online today. Was not able to be with us, so we'll get him set up shortly.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Chengpeng. I want you all to meet Fatima, a 24-year-old living in Lahore, Pakistan. She lives with her husband and 2 kids. Coming from a working class family, it gets difficult for them to make the ends meet. Fatima wants to help her family out by selling handbags. She wants to start a new venture and is thinking of purchasing a sewing machine. But she is unfortunately unable to purchase one because she is unable to save enough money for that. She goes out to her local bank, but without any formal income and without any formal documentation, she is unable to get access to a loan. She then reaches out to her local lender, but for a sewing machine worth $60, she has to pay $120 in total. That's double the cost. Fatma is stuck and upset, not knowing what to do. We are Kalpe. We are Pakistan's first and largest Sharia-aligned buy now, pay later. We help customers like Fatima get easy access to financing so they can purchase products and pay in 3 monthly installments. Our process requires no documentation, no paperwork, and there is no interest whatsoever for the whole transaction. Let me show you how it works. Fatima goes onto our partner merchant's website, adds a sewing machine to her shopping cart. On the checkout page, she adds in all the details as usual and selects Kalpe as the payment option. As a new customer, she has to sign up and create an account in Kalpe. She starts off by adding a phone number and uploading a picture of a national identity card. We are able to extract all the data from a national identity card, and she then just has to pay a down payment to check out. For Fatima, it's 1/3 today, and the rest is split into 2 equal monthly installments. In the back end, Kalpe is charging its partner merchants a fixed percentage fee, and that's how we make our revenue. For our partner brands, it's super simple to start using Kalpe. They simply sign up on a portal by adding in all their details. We then send them a contract for the e-signatures, and then it takes them hardly 3 to 5 minutes to integrate Kalpe on the website and start giving its access to customers like Fatima. We are operating in one of the largest and youngest populations in the world. In Pakistan, we have more than 220 million people with an average age of 23. The local e-commerce market is estimated to add more than $7 billion, and it has been growing at around 20% year on year. Yet, we just see that 21% of the population in Pakistan is financially included. And with the credit card penetration of less than 0.8%, it tells us that getting access to credit in Pakistan is not that easy. In the local lending ecosystem, Kalpe differentiates itself and stands out through its simple and easy to use product and its low cost service. It's so ever important for us to be Sharia aligned in a Muslim majority country like Pakistan. We are the only BNPL in the country, allowing customers to pay through mobile wallets, thereby making it fairly easy for them to start using our services. And for our partner merchants, we go for instant disbursements, thereby helping them improve their cash conversion cycles. I'm Shersha Hassan. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Kalpe. I have my background in accounting and finance from Lahore University of Management Sciences, and I've done my CFA level 1. Prior to joining Kalpe, I had the opportunity of starting and building a growth and marketing studio with my current co-founder, Waleed, which we ran for around 2 years. We worked with local and global clients. Then I ventured into e-commerce, where I built my store from scratch and grew it to more than 1 million rupees in monthly revenue. I'm joined by my best friend for 8 years and our chief operating officer, Waleed. He also has a background in accounting finance from Lahore University of Management Sciences. And prior to joining Kalpe, he was a part of Zameen.com, Pakistan's leading PropTech startup, which has raised more than $30 million in funding till date. He was a part of the data analytics operations, where he helped them build their systems and improve their efficiency. Hassan Mubarak, our head of partnerships, has his MBA from Lahore University of Management Sciences. And prior to joining Kalpe, he was a part of Pakistan's premier fintech, Finja, which has raised more than $25 million in funding till date. As their head of institutional sales, he helped them get more than 200 institutional partners on board. And as the head of their recovery and payments operations, he ensured that they had a repayment rate of more than 99.5%. And a data lead, Hassan Farooq. He's a gold medalist in AI and machine learning from National University of Science and Technology. And prior to joining Kalpe, he was a part of Agora, Pakistan's leading edtech platform. And he helped them build their OCR and machine learning model. Currently, we are a proud team of more than 20 people spread across business development, business operations, product, and tech. We are supported and backed by renowned local and global angel and institutional investors. I'm really happy and proud to share this news with all of you that just recently we signed a financing agreement with one of the largest fintechs in Pakistan, Morpheus, amounting to around $500,000. We are also supported and backed by other strategic partners such as Samba Bank, Paymob, and Checkout.com, which are helping us fuel our growth. In the local BNPL ecosystem, we have the largest portfolio of brands with more than 400 e-commerce stores as a part of CutPay, spread across 18 different segments. That includes brands such as Xiaomi, Samsung, the Linen Company, and many others. Through these brands, we have been able to successfully disperse more than 6,000 loans till date, amounting to a total of more than $420,000. And this has been growing at around 40% month over month. And I'm really proud to share with you that just last month, we were able to do more than $80,000 worth of loans.
So now investors, please do indicate your relative interest in speaking to CalPay on the Zoom poll, or again, you can scan the Google form here in the room over there in the QR I left, or our team can bring over the QR code for you if you are not able to reach that. Okay, so now moving on to our next region in Southeast Asia, I would like to introduce our first company from here. And this company is called Morpheus. All right, so I'd like to next welcome on stage Joey from Morpheus.
Meet JP. He's 22 years old, lives on Mactan, a remote island in the Philippines. JP has a high school degree and works at a hotel as a hotel cleaner. But he earns less than $2 an hour. And he has to commute over 3.5 hours a day just to get to work. He doesn't earn nearly enough to support his family, and he's super stressed because he's got another one coming on the way. JP hears from a friend that he can make money in the metaverse, in the Web3. He has no idea what that is, nor how to look for it. So he goes on to Google and searches. And he watches hours of YouTube videos just to get more and more confused. JP wants to make money in the metaverse for his family, but after hours of researching, he's just getting more frustrated. He doesn't know where to start. There's a whole universe of opportunities out there waiting for JP if only he knew where to look. We are Morpheus League. We're a job platform that helps the next 4 billion workers earn in the new Web3 internet economy. We give low-income workers from around the world short and custom training programs so that they can have the skills necessary to succeed in the Web3 and make money in the Web3 universe. We match them with companies that need help online and give them opportunities to create more and more skills for themselves so that they can have more earning opportunities. Let me show you how we do this. First, JP creates an account on Morpheus website. He fills in his basic information, such as interests, skills, and work experience. And in just a few minutes, he's registered and he's in. Our algorithms match JP's profile with the best fitting job openings. For each job, JP sees the description, requirements for the job, such as language and skills, and of course, the pay rate. JP applies for the job with just an easy click. And he takes a short, customized training session to make sure that he has what it takes to finish the assignment. Through our dashboard, we provide JP with the financial tools to track his work and manage his earnings. He sees his timeline, progress across the metaverse, jobs in progress, and jobs completed. As soon as he completes a job, he sees that the employer has already deposited his pay in his wallet, and Morpheus takes a cut through a smart contract with JP. He's making twice as much as he would working at his old traditional offline job. And he saves hours of commute time each day and gets to spend more time with his family. Whenever he wants, he can cash out of his earnings with just one click of a button, and the money gets sent straight to his bank account. JP also receives notifications each time he gets matched automatically with a job. And he can earn an NFT certificate in key Web3 and metaverse skills, qualifying him for even higher paying jobs. Through Morpheus, JP can host an event in a virtual world and make $50, or create virtual maps for the latest NFT games for $80. Attend Snoop Dogg's metaverse launch event and make another $10. Fact is, there are millions of other metaverse job opportunities yet to even be discovered. Today, 52% of all workers globally, about 4 billion people, have spent some of their career as a gig worker, and the gig economy is worth over $455 billion. By 2026, a full 2 billion people will spend at least an hour a day in Web3 and the metaverse. Tech giants like Facebook, Apple, and Tencent have already realized this massive opportunity and have started their transition into the metaverse. Web3 is on pace to grow from $478 billion in 2020 to over $1 trillion by 2024. We believe that the new digital workforce will grow in Web3, and there is a massive opportunity for the next 4 billion lower income workers from developing countries around the world to earn a fair wage and to make a good living. Morpheus League enables workers to easily access Web3 and metaverse gig work. Our platform is tailored to support future work and skills for the metaverse economy. We're the first marketplace aggregating work opportunities across the metaverse, simplifying the sign-up process, providing them with training, and enabling users to track and show their skills and experience, and most importantly, to get paid. I am Joseph Zhang. I'm the co-founder of Morpheus. I have 25 years of work experience on Wall Street. I've co-founded a $500 million hedge fund, and also co-founded and sold a list. Sorry, I co-founded a $500 million hedge fund and also co-founded a boutique investment bank, which we've sold to a publicly listed company for $100 million. I also launched 2 successful ed tech companies and recently launched an AI automated crypto fund, which has outperformed Bitcoin and Ethereum by over 50% year to date. Now, my co-founder unfortunately couldn't be here today. He's very ill, unfortunately, and I hope he's all right. He is the CEO, and he was a management consultant for KPMG and the head of risk at Foodpanda, helping them grow their business to over $900 million in annual revenues. He's enabled the rollout of a Singapore government compliant fintech wallet that's generated over $100 million of revenues per year. We have many other very talented people on our team as well. In the past year, we have signed partnerships with 7 prominent Web3 companies that have paid over 1,500 Morpheus gig workers to help them scale up their marketing, their videos, and their social media. We launched during the metaverse boom in September 2021, about a year ago, and we've increased our network size to 90,000 workers, including 20,000 acquired through our streamer network, which includes 5 of the top Web3 streamers in Asia. over the last year, we've grown our worker base 10x to over 2,000 gig workers and are now averaging earnings of over double their minimum wage. We have generated almost 900,000 in revenues and are expected to grow by over 50% at the end of next year and expand our market further by increasing our work opportunity offerings throughout the metaverse.
Great. Thank you very much, Morpheus. And now it's time, of course, please indicate investors your relative interest on the Zoom poll, which is up right now. And also here in the room, please, if you have not yet scanned our QR code, please do so and also fill out your relative interest. Okay, next up from Southeast Asia is an amazing team. And I'd like to now turn the floor over to Ashish from Verismart.
Meet Karthik. He's the Chief Data Officer at the #2 bank in India. He subscribes to consumer data exchanges with a number of enterprise partners. The bank needs Karthik to get consumer data in order to understand consumer eligibility for various banking products and services, reduce customer acquisition cost, offer personalized services, and make more money from existing customers. However, the way Karthik's bank is currently exchanging data with partners could land him and his bank in a lot of trouble. New privacy regulations mean that if the bank continues to share data in the old way, it will be open to compliance risk. Whenever Karthik's bank shares data with any of the enterprise partners, they lose the ownership and the control of their own data. If the bank is not taking explicit consent for every purpose for which the data exchange is happening, the Karthik's bank is going to be under regulatory scrutiny. Karthik is confused. He's looking at terminating all his existing data partnerships. This means that the bank will have a higher cost of customer acquisition and he will not be able to mitigate the required risks. This will also decrease the number of users or the amount of revenue the bank would have generated. We are very smart. We help people like Karthik to unlock the true potential of their organization's own data and make use of the data from their partners to increase the monetization in a privacy compliant, blockchain-based data exchange platform without losing the ownership of their data. Let me show you how this works. Verismart has created a number of industry consortiums. We then onboarded all the players in that industry, ranging from the banks to telecoms, insurance companies, and even government agencies. On all these industry consortiums, there are two types of players, the data consumers and data contributors. The data contributors come to the Verismart's data exchange platform and share what kind of consumer information they can bring in, like the consumer's age, salary, location, and spending habits. The data consumers come to the platform and set up their requirements. Now, every time a data consumer wants to have some information, they can search through the pool of the entire data of the data contributors. So instead of getting the raw data that they want, like the consumer's salary, they get the permission to query the data of these data contributors. So no data ever leaves the servers of the data contributors. But the data consumers are able to get the required information all in a privacy compliant, accessible manner. The data contributors are compensated for their data and Verismart takes a cut on each transaction. Verismart engages with the end consumer for consent, either using our own communication platform or using the native mobile applications of the data contributors. For every product and services sold through these industry consortiums, VerySmart gets a revenue share of the actual value of the product or service additionally. In UAE, there are 30 insurance companies, 4 major telecoms, and 48 financial institutions, all of them generating around 100 million US dollars in revenue from their existing data partnerships. This creates a total addressable market of 9 billion US dollars just in UAE. Globally, we are looking at a 112 billion US dollar market opportunity, which is growing at a CAGR of 28%. VerySmart is differentiated because we enable institutions like banks, telecoms, insurance companies to monetize their data in a traditional data exchange manner, but without losing the ownership or control, or even violating any of the privacy laws. We do this using our query-based system, which enables the organizations to exchange data with the added layer of security, transparency, and trust. Saurabh is VerySmart's co-founder and CEO. He's a successful entrepreneur with 2 prior exits in the past. His last venture, an e-commerce enabler platform, he scaled to more than 45,000 shops and exited to the biggest media group in India called Times Internet. I'm Ashish. I'm the CEO at VerySmart. Prior to this, I was the founder and CEO at Dolphin Chat, a conversational AI marketing chatbot platform wherein we onboarded D2C e-commerce brands, banks, telecoms, government agencies, and organizations like United Nations. Earlier this year, VerySmart acquired Dolphin Chat in order to layer the conversational marketing platform of Dolphin Chat over the data exchange platform that VerySmart has, so that we can move up the value chain. VerySmart has already onboarded 6 of the top 10 banks and 2 of the top 3 telecoms in India. And now we are expanding to 3 countries. Recently, we won the Innovation Challenge by Commercial Bank of Dubai, along with FinTech Hive, where we created a solution for the banks to issue credit card to end consumers, all through a complete remote onboarding process on WhatsApp. We have given our customers access to data that has reduced their time to onboard consumers by over 66%. And this access to data has helped our customers to reduce the customer acquisition cost by over 4 times. VerySmart has already onboarded more than 15 million consumers on our industry consortiums, and we are powering more than 500,000 transactions on a daily basis. VerySmart is doing $6 million US on a monthly basis in terms of transactions, and we have grown 450% over the last 3 quarters. Our current monthly revenue stands at $310,000 US. And I'm glad to announce that we are operationally profitable. Now, since Orbit invested in us over the last 2 years, we have bootstrapped to profitability, and now we are looking to take our data exchange platform to more countries and more industries.
Great, thank you so much. Very smart. Okay, investors, please indicate your relative interest either on the Zoom poll in front of you or here in the room. There's our QR code to your left and to your right. All right, so next up, we have our companies from India. And first up, we have an amazing company, Money Club. So please, everybody, give a really warm welcome for Manraj from Money Club.
Hi. So let's meet Uma. She is one of the 400 million lower middle class Indians living in India. She lives in a small town called Bikaner in a family of around 10 members. And she works in a cloth factory as a tailor, earning around $200 per month. With these $200, she has to take care of her children's education, also her ailing parents. So she decides to save up some money every month. She goes to a local saving group where there are 10 other women, and she contributes $50 every month. So 10 women pool up around $500 with a local guy who's a cashier. And all this is done in the form of cash. Now, whenever anybody needs the money, they bid for this amount and they pick up the $500 from the pooled amount. Now, for Uma, this $500 can actually be life-saving. Or she can also realize her dream that she has always dreamed for a family. Next slide. Yeah, but one fine day, what happens is that the cashier actually gets greedy, seeing all the cash lying on his table, and decides to run away with everyone's saving. Now, this leaves Uma completely distraught. She has lost all her life savings and she's back to square one. This is where we come in. We are Money Club. We are a deep tech group savings platform. We enable millions of people like Uma to save in government registered saving pools all over the country. Let me show you how this works. Uma downloads an app from the Play Store, the Money Club app, and fills up a small form where she's required to fill up small details about herself. After the form, she gets a phone call where she gets verified over a 7-minute phone call. And she gets invited to join a small trial club of 1,000 rupees, which is a little over $12. And she joins 4 other verified Money Club members from around the country and starts saving online. Whenever she needs the money, she can actually go online on the app, bid for the pooled amount, and once she wins the bid, enter her bank account details on the app. The other members transfer funds directly into her bank account. So she receives all the money digitally. Now, our smart algorithms then start taking Uma on a money clubbing journey, where they move her from small pooled amounts to bigger pooled amounts as she keeps building a good transaction history on the platform. The platform takes around 3.5% of the pooled amount every time a winner takes the bid. And as the number of transactions keep increasing and the number of bids keep increasing on the platform keeps making more money. Now, Uma can actually realize the dream that she has always dreamed about with her money safe, and all this sitting at home without any paperwork. For over 1,000 years, Indians have actually been saving money in saving pools. And this market is close to $100 billion in size, still growing at 15%, despite of all the financial innovations out there. There are around 400 million lower middle class Indians in the country. And almost in India right now, 40% of all transactions are happening digitally. There are around $7 trillion of money which got transacted in 2022 alone. And this number is going to go to around $10 trillion by 2026. And till date, there has been no digital saving product like Money Club in the country. How we are better off? Now, for a person like Uma, the options that she has, she can go to priority lenders or priority lending apps or unsecured saving groups, which are unsafe and puts her money at risk. We at the Money Club, we provide a completely safe and regulated platform for users to save money. We are a team of IITians. I am from IIT Kharagpur. My name is Manraj Jain. I'm the founder and CEO. I have over 20 years of experience working in finance, operations, and strategy. Previously, I had founded another company called Untitled Capital Partners, where I was advising small and medium enterprises to help them scale from X to 10X. My co-founder, Surjit Ray, he's also from IIT Kharagpur, also from Schlumberger, and a tech geek, I would say. He is one of the smartest people that I have worked with. He brings in experience on predictive data analytics and cloud architecture at scale. He was a CTO of multiple startups before joining Money Club. And in his last stint, he was the chief technical architect at Apollo Munich Health Insurance. It was a $1 billion health insurance company in India. Kishle Kundu, again, and from IIT Kharagpur, and a PhD from University of Maryland. He heads our engineering efforts. Our institutional investors, we have some of the very good names in the world. They bring us global reach and global expertise. Our advisors are also all IITians. And we are being supported by some marquee angels who are also entrepreneurs or ex-entrepreneurs who have experience in scaling up digital businesses, including some of the fastest growing fintech companies from the country. We've been trusted by over 400,000 Indians so far, who have managed or who have loved to save around $10 million till date on our platform. With over 1 million transactions, now savings has become a habit for our users on the system. Our 30-day retention rate is around 90%, which means users love coming back to our platform and keep saving money because it's safe. We have built state-of-the-art underwriting algorithms, because of which the user's money is really safe on our platform. Our default rate is less than 1%. Having said this, we have managed to create a sustainable business model where our LTV to CAC ratio is around 3.5:1. Our users make around 4 times more returns on their deposits on the platform, which is better than bank rates. And of course, I told you about my LTV CAC is 3.5:1. India is going through a next big fintech revolution. And there are around 1.2 billion mobile subscribers in the country who are transacting online. And we believe that this is the perfect time to scale up a company like Money Club.
Thank you so much, Money Club. Okay, please, everyone, investors, please indicate your relative interest for Money Club on the Zoom poll, or again, on the QR code to your left or to your right. All right, next, I'm really pleased to introduce our next startup. Please give a really warm welcome for Avi from Asobu.
Meet Nola. Nola is 14 years old. She loves playing video games. She buys game assets to feel powerful in the game. Without game assets, she can't do much in the game, and that makes her really sad. With game assets, she gets unique powers and she becomes a level 10 gamer. And that makes her really happy. Nola also wants to share and trade these game assets with her friends, but it's hard for Nola to find out what she can share or trade. Nola spends time on online forums looking for game assets that people are selling. And when she finally finds some of these assets, either the price is too high for Nola, or it's not in her native currency, or there are too many steps to buy these assets. Blockchain games are exciting, but the number of steps to get into blockchain games is overwhelming for Nola. Nola is frustrated by this point. I'm Avi, and I bring to you Asobu. Asobu lets the world full of Nolas easily discover and buy game assets without blockchain sign-up pain. Asobu also lets gamers easily share and exchange these game assets with their friends. And we keep these game assets affordable and in the gamer's native currency. Let me show you how this works. Nola finds out about Asobu through her favorite game influencer. She goes to the Asobu app and signs up in just 2 steps and under 30 seconds, unlike the hour-long and 14-step process it takes to get into blockchain games. Nola can browse through a huge selection of game assets of popular blockchain games. And she can also find thousands of assets listed by creators who are showing them off and even selling them. Nola can easily invite her friends to share and exchange these game assets with. She decides to buy 5 game assets. She heads to the checkout and she pays using in-app purchase in her native currency, Indian rupees. Asobu makes a 3% commission on every transaction. The market for game assets is $120 billion in size today. and it's growing to $200 billion in the next 5 years. Blockchain is the technology that's driving this growth. Blockchain makes game assets ownable and tradable, and that would end up making them massively socially shareable. We offer the highest sign-up speed in the market, and we make it really simple for gamers to use these assets in the games they play, and that's why they love us. I'm Aviral. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Asobu. I graduated from IIT Bombay. I have won competitions at MIT and Google, and I've run a startup before this where I raised $2 million in venture funding. My co-founder, Uma, she heads design for us. She also graduated from IIT Bombay and went to National Institute of Design after that. Uma has run a design studio in the past where she worked on projects for companies like Google, Verizon, and a number of startups. Kalpesh is our marketing co-founder. He holds a degree in engineering, and he drove digital marketing on the sale of $2 million worth of goods on Amazon in his previous venture. Daniel Collins was the CTO of Cisco after he sold his company Jasper Networks to Cisco for $1.4 billion. Matt is our marketing advisor. He holds $150 million in exits from his previous MarkTech companies. And Cyrus is our blockchain advisor. He's currently the CIO of Somnifix, a Mark Cuban-backed health company. We are happy to announce that we have grown to 20,000 gamers in the last 9 weeks. We are growing at 30% week over week. And we have brought down our CAC from $40 to under 30 cents.
Thank you so much, Avi from Asobu. All right, and now we have our final company from India. Oh, but first, please do, investors, indicate your relative interest in Asobu on the Zoom poll or on the Google form. Again, our QR codes to the left and the right. Please do scan. Give you a couple seconds for that. All right, and now our final company from India, an amazing company. And please, everyone, give an incredible welcome to Akshay from iWeb Techno.
Meet Rajesh. Rajesh is the dean at GMT University. GMT is a massive university spread across tier 2 city in India, having more than 100,000 students. Such a massive scale university is still being run by pen and paper or basic software such as Word and Excel. Basic curriculum is managed with Word and Excel. Student enrollments are managed with Word and Excel in this large university. Rajesh spends more than 10% of his time and 20 hours a week along with his team in manual administrative activities. More than 10% of seats lie vacant due to this. Just a second, technical glitch with tech companies. Yeah, so coming back to Rajesh's problem, 10% of seats lie vacant every year. Courses and student fees are paid wrongly. Scores go to the wrong students and they miss out on the academic season. Documents are delayed, transcripts are not given to students, and there is a whole lot of mess. Rajesh needs to find a way to fix this problem because the university is losing out on revenue. But Rajesh lacks the budget to go in for a university management system. This is where iWeb Techno comes in. We automate the entire student life cycle for free because banks pay for the entire system. We help academicians like Rajesh digitize the entire institute on a year-on-year basis on our SaaS platform. Let me show you how this works. So Rajesh is onboarded to our SaaS application ahead of the academic year. As the students are enrolled, all the academic data is inputted in the system and all students and Rajesh have access to all the data points. As the curriculum goes further, students will get the unique login where every student will have access to all data points, including their profile, admissions, and students will make fee payments online using their digital modes. And with every mode selected, iWeb Techno gets a cut. We get a commission out of every single transaction done by the student on the platform. Along with this, students have access to various other details like their admission, enrollment, count, results, and we have a unique student marketplace where students have access to lending, finance, and other platforms. Again, we make a cut on every single transaction done. So the model here is iWeb Techno is offered to free to institutes sponsored by banks, and the bank's interest is to get the tuition fees and payroll from the said institute, making it a three-way alliance. India is a huge market. We have more than 1,000 universities, more than 42,000 colleges, more than 1.1 million schools, and 400 million students in India, which is growing at a 7.5% growth rate because universities are increasing in India. If I just add $10 to this market size, I am looking at a $4 billion market size in India. We have a very fast adoption on our platform because banks pay for the software. So it technically goes for free. And we have built a student marketplace to monetize on a per transaction basis. This is a unique service. Hi, I am Akshay, founder CEO of iWeb Techno. I have 2 decades of experience in building products in India. I was closely working with the NASSCOM Product Council. I have counseled startups, and that gave me an impetus to build this premium model where we are growing in the last 2 years at 348% rate. Ketan, who's my co-founder, Ketan has over 4 decades of experience as a chartered accountant. He's helped companies like Bayer India reduce costs annually up to $2 million. Plus, he's a serial entrepreneur. He built a startup very early in his times and sold it. He got a valuation of $8 million within 6 months. My third co-founder, Vasha Shah, she got her experience in ERP, CRM very early in her career. She is our backbone for SaaS and Indian market on the academic side. She's worked with companies like Bajaj International and multiple other companies, giving us the base. Last but not the least, I have Yogiraj Kamath, who's our head alliances. Yogi studied in the US. He studied at the University of Southern California. He worked in the Valley before coming back to India. And his experience with multi-million-dollar projects with Brocade helped us do the alliances with the banks. So we have 6 banks on our platform who are live. The best part is all these banks' Salesforce helps us reach out pan-India to institutes, and every single deal is sponsored by the bank, which is helping us scale up thick and fast. As we talk, we have 10 universities live on our platform, over 600 colleges, which is resulting or translating to 700,000 students on our platform. So if I show you the graph, we have grown 54,000 students in 2020 to over 725K students now at a whooping CAGR of 348%. If I take this as average monthly GMV, we've grown from 208K last year to 399K, 191% growth.
Thank you so much, Akshay from iWeb Techno. Okay, investors, you know the drill. Please indicate your relative interest on the Zoom poll or here in the room. You can scan the QR code being held up to your left or to your right. All right, next we have a couple of companies from Nigeria. We're super excited to have them here with us. And our first company is Get Funded Africa. So please, everyone, put your hands together for Debo from Get Funded Africa.
Meet Kenny. Kenny is 32 years old. She lives in Abuja in Nigeria, a metropolitan city of 4 million people. Abuja is thriving and brimming with lots of small businesses and various opportunities. Kenny runs a microfinance business that provides small loans to female shop owners. Kenny actually receives lots of applications, but the thing is, her business is making a big impact to the community in Abuja and its environments. Kenny actually receives 2,000 applications on a monthly basis. However, she can barely keep up with the processing because she doesn't have enough people. Kenny can only provide loans to 20% of the people and the applications that she actually receives. Unfortunately, she doesn't have enough people. It's a big problem. Kenny believes she needs to hire people to keep up with the processing and to actually grow her business. However, she doesn't know where to get talent. She doesn't have qualified applicants. And in addition, she doesn't even know if she can actually pay them the money if she gets them. Kenny's business has grown via word of mouth marketing. Kenny knows she needs to invest in digital marketing, but she doesn't even know how to develop a marketing plan. Kenny knows that she's got the start of a great business. Unfortunately, she's stuck and she does not know what to do. Like many African founders, Kenny faces the challenges of skills, leadership, and very importantly, fundraising. We are Get Funded Africa. We're a platform that connects and supercharges African startups. We match African startups with global investors, global mentors, global partners, and very importantly, global corporate organizations. Our co-working space is the hub of startup activity in Nigeria currently. And our media platform actually helps startups, African founders, tell their stories to a global audience. Our database, the Crunchbase of Africa, helps provide transparency and helps make African founders more attractive to the global community. Let me actually show you how it works. Kenny finds Get Funded Africa by watching one of the videos that she sees online about Get Funded. To register and using our onboarding process, where you can simply fill and just use a few clicks to fill a form. She can select what she needs, provide information to Get Funded Africa, fills a form, and once she submits, in just a few minutes, a Get Funded Africa account is open for her. Immediately that using this platform, using the information provided, she can actually be connected to investors, and our eyes go immediately to where the investors go, where the investors are. The AI has digitally created a list of investors that can match based on questions she's answered. She sees that, clicks there, and she sees that she can find investors, can see the investor name, the industry they invest in, the seed round that they invest in, the countries that they actually invest in. Kenny tries to connect to that investor. When she does that, it asks her to fill in her information in a deal room that has automatically been generated when her account was open. Kenny fills it up and provides access to the deal room to her desired investor. The investor automatically receives a notification, reviews Kenny's pitch deck, and decides that she actually wants to have a meeting with Kenny. Kenny is sent a link to the investor's calendar. Kenny books a time, and voila, Kenny has got a meeting. Kenny goes back to the Get Funded Africa dashboard and sees that there are multiple things that she can actually do. She can actually see the talents that has been recommended to her using our database. She can actually match with global mentors from around the world. She can match with corporate organizations that are interested in working with her and in her industry. She can find an expert to help her with marketing or developing a business plan. She has access to data and insights. She can write an article about her business and publish it on the Get Funded Africa media platform. Or she could even enroll in courses on sales, marketing, training, leadership, and so many other things. Kenny knows that she's on the way to having a great and positive impact with her business. Get Funded Africa actually takes a cut on the funds raised. We get a fee from corporate organizations for matches, and we also earn money from subscriptions for the various services provided to the startup. There are 65 million founders just like Kenny across Africa. These 65 million founders need lots of things. Today in Africa as a whole, investment has been flowing in because they're providing lots of solutions. As at 2021, investment into Africa hit $4.9 billion. This represented a 250% increase over the 2020 numbers. And you know what? Africa is not slowing down. In 2022, as at half of the year, investment into African startups had already hit almost the amount of the whole of 2021. And note, this is just half of 2022. Get Funded Africa is special because we provide a holistic, all-in-one approach, because we know that startups don't just require one thing, but they require multiple things. In addition, our services are tailor-made for the African startup, providing services and solutions that meet their needs and help them move from, say, one country to a global audience. We've got a team of people whose superpower is execution. Starting with myself, my name is Debo. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Get Funded Africa. I help iOS, the third largest mobile operating system in the world, to raise $500 million to help companies gain access to the internet, usually for the very first time, including the 100 million people on the Reliance Jio network, the #1 telco in India. I also work with KPMG, where I help hundreds of large corporate organizations to navigate doing business across Africa. My colleague and co-founder, Tunji, was the lead in North Star Financial Services, where he led investments for the $100 million North Star Capital. In addition to that, he also led the $100 million Helios Tower syndicated facility, where he helped Helios, London listed, an organization listed on the London Stock Exchange, to raise $100 million for their facility. He was also one of the pioneer staff for FMDQ. FMDQ is Africa's largest alternative exchange market. Phil, our chief technical officer, helped develop the derivative platform of the NGX. NGX is Africa's, NGX stands for Nigeria Stock Exchange, and is the second largest public securities exchange in Africa. We currently have created 3,000 articles and videos on our platform, which has generated 1.5 million impressions. In addition, we currently have 50,000 SMEs and startups on the Get Funded Africa platform. We currently partner with multiple corporate organizations, including Microsoft, Access Bank, Facebook, Google, MasterCard, Visa, P&G, AB InBev, to mention a few that we currently work with. We have 2,500 startups on our platform, and 80% of them are paying customers. I'm also happy to inform you and announce that since we started our fundraising platform, we've helped over 100 companies across Africa raise $150 million.
Thank you so much, Debo from Get Funded Africa. Okay, please indicate your relative interest in Get Funded Africa on the Zoom poll, as well as in the room. On the QR code, you see to your left and to your right. All right, so now we have our next company from Nigeria. Please give a very warm welcome to Phoebe from Credit Bank.
Thank you, Champion. Hi, everyone. This is Florence. She lives in Ibadan, the biggest city in Nigeria. She has 3 beautiful children and a husband. She's a trader, and she sells clothes in the market. Florence needs to make multiple payments every day. She needs to keep some cash at hand. And also, she needs to make some cash from the market. She wants to save this money and earn interest on her savings. She also wants to get a low-cost loan when she needs it. She needs to get an health insurance for her family just in case. For her to achieve all this, Florence needs to go to the bank or to the insurance company to get this done. The queue at the bank and the insurance company will not allow Florence to attend to her customers at the market. Florence needs 5 different applications to get this done. One for savings, another for investment, another for insurance, and another one for loans. Florence, like many other, uses a low-end smartphone with limited memory. She can only support 2 out of these applications. So Florence keeps deleting the apps. Now, moving money within these applications is very difficult for Florence. Technology was supposed to make things easier. We are Credit Bank, a one-stop shop digital financial institution licensed by the Central Bank of Nigeria, providing payments, savings, loans, investments, insurance, and banking for Nigerians. Let me show you how it works. Florence downloads the app. She inserts a mobile number and she gets signed up. She also needs to set a PIN for easy login. Then she's welcomed with this beautiful dashboard where she can actually have all her financial needs in just one application. She can now save money, she can borrow money, buy airtime, and get insurance from this app. Whenever Florence makes any transaction, we take a fee. And whenever she borrows, we take a cut. $42 million out of 210 million Nigerians are smartphone users. This is expected to triple in the next 3 years. 70% of these smartphone users are using a low-cost smartphone. We are Credit Bank, a digital one-stop shop for financial services, whereby people like Florence can actually carry out all their financial services in just one application. Credit has a team of over 20. The founders have not only worked in fintech unicorns, but have also built profitable businesses and exited. My name is Phoebe. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Credit Bank. Previously, I worked with Rain Money, where I was responsible for a loan to grow a loan portfolio from 0 to over $70 million. And also, I built my own microfinance bank, which I exited into a larger bank. More recently, I worked with OPay, an Opera-backed unicorn, where I was director for partnerships, where I was able to grow customers from 5,000 to over 1.5 million users. My co-founder, Samoji, has a background in finance and law, also built a digital transportation business, which he exited as well. We launched in 2021, October. We have a 65-day retention. Our B2B2C model has been able to draw down our cost of acquisition to 40 cents. We have over 100,000 people on our platform today. We have hit a $90,000 revenue monthly. We are profitable.
Thank you so much, Bobby from Credit Bank. All right, that brings us to the end of our startup pitching, but please, of course, indicate your relative interest in Credit Bank on the Zoom poll, or again, there is the QR code to your left or to your right. So that does bring us today to the end of our startup pitching, but I want to leave you here. Please, if you would like to learn more about what we do, about our startups, please do follow us on LinkedIn or visit our website. I want to give a real warm-hearted thank you to our startups, to our partner, Astro Labs here in Dubai, our community partner. Thank you very much to everybody who's attending here live in person and also on our live stream.